Hello. Hello, Lilia.
Hi, Jarlene.
All right, folks. If anyone is out there, today is Wednesday, June 8th, 2022. I am joined with the Long Beach Education Connection today. And they're going to tell you who they are in just a moment. But we are here to have a conversation about the Long Beach Unified School District budget and advocacy and work that has been taking place here in Long Beach. So I'm really excited. This is going to be a little bit of a different type of presentation. So actually, you may need to get a pen or a pencil. Again, it's Jarlene, live talk of the town, being joined by some amazing education advocates in our community. Lilia, who's on screen with me right now, she is going to greet our guest in Spanish, and she's gonna share a few words.
Gracias, Jarlene. Sí, buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Hoy estamos con el grupo de abogacía para la educación, Conexión Educativa de Long Beach, y vamos a tener información importante sobre el presupuesto del Distrito Unificado de Long Beach. Mi compañera Jarlene va a traer información que va a ser en español, en español y probablemente en camboyano. Ella va a estar presentando la información, cómo va pasando, vamos a tener videos, entonces estén listos y esperen por eso. Te la regreso, Jarlene. Back to you.
Thank you, Lilia. I'm just gonna to get things going. So I'm actually gonna pull up something that's hold on, let me pull this up. I want this to show on the screen. So for our Spanish-speaking community, language access is very important to us. And thank you, Lilia, for joining for joining me in the welcome. I'm going to drop you off the screen for just a moment. Uh-oh, I dropped myself off. Okay. Here today to have a conversation about the Long Beach Unified School District budget. The budget is going to be approved on June 22nd school board meeting. So today I'm joined with a group, and I am reading y'all. The Long Beach Education Connection is a coalition of parents, community-based organizations, advocacy organizations who advocate for effective, equitable, and racially just budget and policy changes within Lbusd. So for those of you who have been following what's going on in education, we have had some amazing things happen here in Long Beach. And I'm going to pull up a slide just for some historical information for folks to see. And let's see, pull this up before I bring the guest in. So several years of, or actually almost a decade of work has been going on regarding the Lcap. And you're going to learn in just a few minutes, what is the Lcap? The Lcap is, when you hear Lcap, it's about the Long Beach Unified School District budget. But in 2018, there was a settlement agreement reached with Long Beach Unified School District. And a complaint was put in 2017 on behalf of parents and education advocates because funding was not being spent appropriately. So if you should see a slide on your screen right now. So in 2018, there was a settlement agreement reached. In the settlement agreement, it called for tutoring, counseling, improvements to the engagement process. And last year, June 30th, it expired, yet the work did not stop. So today, there's going to be conversation about the continuation of this work. I am going to bring Michael forward, I believe. Is that who I'm bringing forward? Actually, I'm going to bring everybody forward. Everybody join on the screen. So what I would like everyone to do is just real quick, state your name, state your affiliation, and then I'm going to show a very short video clip from last year, and then it's all yours. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you, Julian. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. My name is Michael Ball, and I work for Children's Defense Fund California. I'll pass it to Kim.
Hi, folks. Good to be here. Nice to see everybody. My name is Kim Tabari. I'm an LBUSD parent, and I'm also one of the co-founders of Black Parents Guardian Circle and part of this team. Lilia?
Hi, my name is Lilia Ocampo, and I am a parent in the district with 2 kids at a middle school, and I am in this group, part of this group, because I interested on getting students, English learner students, to get the services they needed or they need.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mariela Salgado, and I am a proud parent of 2 elementary age kids. I also serve as a Parks Commissioner and serve in a couple of roles at 2 school sites.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, is that everyone? Did we get everyone? Yes, yes.
Oh, hi. Nicole. This is Nicole. I'm with Public Advocates, and I'm happy to be here.
Yay. Really excited to be joined by community partners, the Children Defense Fund, and public advocates. You'll learn more about their roles in just a moment. Yeah, what I want to do, I just want to take people back just for real quick. So in 2018, there was a settlement agreement. After 3 years of work, and year after year, there was an opportunity to report back to the board. Last year, the group, Long Beach Education Connection, formerly known as the Lcap group, reported out at a board workshop. So I'm just going to pull this up. So, because I like receipts. So I'm going to pull this up, and so people can see a very short clip of the presentation, and then you all can give an update on what's going on this year. So people, if you're joining, it's Jerlene. I'm joined with some amazing advocates in education to talk about the Long Beach Unified School District budget, which is going to be approved in a few weeks. This is really exciting work, y'all. It's really exciting. So just give me just a moment. Right now, I'm going to pull up a YouTube video, and this YouTube is found on the Long Beach Unified School District's page. But I just wanted to bring this up because this is really exciting. So I think Lilia may be speaking right about here.
It's Lilia Ocampo, and a mother of 5 students have already graduated from Lbusd, and 2 that I expect that will graduate in 2029. We want to thank the district for the changes you have already made to the new Lcap draft in the areas of support for English learners and language access, creation of Black Student Achievement Initiative, enriched program that supports social, emotional health, and tutoring. Now I'm going to share our recommendations to make the final Lcap.
Okay, I know that was really short, but I just wanted to pull that up because this has been a year since that presentation has happened. And I know that you're going to be talking about a few of those things that Lilia mentioned in that YouTube video. If you're watching right now, I'm going to drop that YouTube video in the comments. So later you can go to it and check it out and see the full presentation. It was 15 minutes. But if you want to learn about what happened last year and why we're here today, I would advise you checking it out. But I'm passing this over to, I believe, Michael now. All right, yes. I'm passing this over to Michael.
Thank you, Jerlene. Hi, everybody. We just want to show you a quick video to give you a little background on what the local control funding formula is. So if you just give us one quick second, we'll pull that up.
California's public schools receive billions in tax dollars under the Local Control Funding Formula, or LCFF. Under LCFF, high-need students bring extra funds to their districts and charter schools that must be used to provide better services for them. The goal is to ensure every student succeeds, especially those the system has historically left behind. Low-income students of color English learners, and foster youth. Spending under LCFF is spelled out in plans called Lcaps, which parents, students, and teachers must review and help shape. There's big money involved. For example, LA Unified gets more than $1 billion each year in special LCFF funds. High-need students can get shortchanged if districts and charters don't follow LCFF's process closely. You can make sure they get it right by ensuring students receive extra, truly effective services and that community members are directly involved in decision-making. That's what it means to deliver on the promise of LCFF.
Michael, we can't hear you. We don't have sound. You got to start that all over.
Sorry, I realized I was muted. Thank you, Jerlene, for that. I appreciate it. Good. So yeah, that was just a little introduction to the LCFF. And that LCFF are a lot of funds that are used to fund public schools, like all the schools in your school district. The Lcap is a local control accountability plan, which is a budget document that is used to spend the LCFF money and other budget money for the district. And most importantly, the Lcap is supposed to be co-created with the community to meet the community's needs and the needs of the highest need students. So we want to show really quickly how you can find the Lcap. So this is what the Lcap budget looks like and how the LCFF funds make up a portion of that. And how you can find Lbusd's Lcap is you can go right here to lbschools.net/Lcap. And right at the top of the screen, you can see the second draft, which we'll add in the comments later for you all to see it. It's available in English, Spanish, and Khmer. And there are possibilities for you to even provide feedback, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And now I'll pass it over to Nicole.
Hi, everyone. Once again, I'm Nicole from Public Advocates. And if you go to the next slide, please. So I'm going to give you just a super quick rundown of how you can read the Lcap. It has all of these different sections. We're not going to have time to go over all of them right now. But I just wanted to point out that one of the sections we're not going to go over, educational partners, is the section that you can go to see how Long Beach tried to engage the community, how it determined what the highest priorities were for the community. Oh, you can't hear me? Can other people hear me? Are we okay?
You're good. Keep it going.
I'm good. Okay. Thanks. And how the school district listened or didn't listen to community feedback. So check out that educational partners section if you're interested. Next slide, please. So really quick, just wanted to show you, this is the school district's total budget for next year. I wanted to point out that there's over $1 billion that Long Beach is going to receive next year, and maybe more. So that's a lot of money, right? And it's really important to make sure that you have a say in how that money is spent. Now, Michael mentioned the Lcap. That's the equitable spending plan for the district. It doesn't have the entire budget, but it does have a big part of it. It has $800 million out of the over $1 billion. Next slide, please. One thing I wanted to just give you a taste of is how this is organized. The Lcap has a number of goals. Long Beach has 5 goals, and under each goal, there are these things called metrics, and that's how they're measuring progress on the goal. So just for an example, I pulled out this goal, which is college and career readiness. One of the ways they're going to measure that is the percentage of 8th grade students who are ready for high school. Next slide, please. So there's 5 goals. Under every goal, there's a number of metrics to measure progress. And then under every goal, there's also a number of actions. So this is just an example, but you can see that counseling is one of the actions or services that Long Beach is planning to deliver to its students in order to advance college and career readiness. And here you can see a description, you can see how much they're spending, you can see if they're counting it as an equitable action, and then there's some analysis also about how it went last year. Next slide, please. This you could probably not even see, but at the end of the LCAP, there is this table. And this table is maybe the easiest thing to look at because it can be a pretty long document, over 100 pages. And this is just where you can see a list of everything they're doing, how much they're spending, where those services are available at, and things like that. So yeah, check that out. Next slide, please. So I'm going to now pass it over to Kim, who's going to talk a little bit about how this group's work influenced the LCAP last year and what we're planning for next year, or recommending for next year.
Thank you, Nicole and Michael. So we're coming out of a traumatic time of COVID-19 pandemic that shut down the nation, the world, and of course that included closing schools and students learning remotely on Zoom, right? And this caused, as many of you know, really severe student learning and family, social, emotional health issues, especially for our Black and other students of color. But on the bright side, Lbusd received, as Nicole said, a lot of money. I'm going to say, almost 500 million. I don't know where that number came from, but that's what we calculated in additional state and federal funds. So they were able to make some significant changes. So out of some really bad stuff came some really good stuff. And we want to just spend time in these next few minutes just on 4 specific recommendations as far as the budget is concerned. The first recommendation is on more mental health support, which includes no contact with police and school safety officers. A second recommendation is around enrichment programs. A third recommendation is around school site staff and multilingual learning. And the fourth recommendation is around a Black Student Achievement Initiative. So just to spend a little bit more time on recommendation number 1, more mental health support, which would include no contact with police, being the LBPD, and school safety officers. Pretty much self-explanatory, right? Prioritize the mental health of our students. And that means hiring trained mental health therapists for schools, right? Especially those with high rates of disciplinary actions. It also means decreasing the counseling ratios and ensuring counselors are serving students' well-being, not just doing paperwork. And third, it also means providing de-escalation training to all school site staff and less contact with law enforcement again. And we're really supportive of the recent student protest to end gun violence by our amazing high schoolers a couple of weeks ago, and really, really want to push for removing armed weapons on school safety staff. I'm going to pass it to Mariela to talk about recommendation number 2.
Thank you, Kim. So much like I said earlier, one of the unique positions I play or am involved in is that I serve on 2 different school sites. And one of the disparities we see often is the access to enrichment programming, not only just the quality, but also the quantity. Oftentimes school sites council support, utilize their funds to support what the needs of those students are. And so, for example, it may be literacy support, but it doesn't have enough funding for the enrichment program. And research tells us that there's a lot to having these types of programs in the classroom. So we really would like to see a dedicating funding source for school day enrichment, as well as expand district programming. I think schools really need not only the additional funds, but also the supports from the district, whether it's a position or a team, to really focus on the enrichment program at the school site level, but also ensure that it's really it's moving and addressing some of those student needs in recreational or enrichment programming. And I'll pass it on to Lilia.
Mariela, I'm gonna speak up about recommendation 3, and this is about more school site staff and programs to support multilingual learning and family engagement. this includes providing bilingual parent liaisons at every high needs site, providing full-time intervention coordinators to support multilingual learners and other high needs students. Most oftentimes, students that need the support the most are just kind of left behind, and we want to then to take care of that and make sure that everyone has the services that there's so much needed to succeed. And I'm gonna pass it to King now.
All right. Thank you, Lilia. And so bringing up the rear with the last recommendation, which is a huge win for the community and students, the creation of a Black Student Achievement Initiative. Side note, several other school districts also created Black Student Achievement Initiative, like LAUSD, Oakland USD, to name a few, because Black students across the state are struggling academically. So it is a win for our city. It is not, it is not so far off from anything that other school sites are doing, right? Other school districts are doing. This is pretty popular. Funding wise, this came with an initial $750,000 earmarked in the budget. So it's really important as we get ready to think about the budget for next year. What are those provisions being made, right? And so the first step in this was to create a Black Student Achievement Advisory Committee, which I'm a part of. Started really strong with a lot of parent participation, but we had a huge decline. So this is a plug to you, Black parents that are listening. We need you. We need you at the table. What does this budget recommendation look like? It looks like ensuring that LBUSD Black student population is reflected in educational programming and staff. It looks like strengthening LBUSD Black student involvement in restorative justice programs, tutoring, enrichment services, all the things we just talked about, right? It also looks like ensuring targeted outreach to our Black students, our Black parents, educators, and community members. And of course, we are dealing with challenges up from that, such as there's only one specific staff member assigned to work with this BSAI group. And so we're hoping, and I know she gets a lot of support from her colleagues as well, but we're hoping that, that the district really supports this more intentionally, because academically our students are really struggling with low test scores, and we see that across the board. So I will turn it over. So those were our 4 recommendations, just in a nutshell. There's much more we can get into each one of them. Please reach out to us if you have questions, and we can fill you in and join our team. I'll turn it over back over to Jerlene to close us out.
All right. Wow. Yes, go ahead and bring everybody back on to the screen. Thank you for that presentation. I know you made it all look so simple, yet it is not. So I have a couple questions. How long does this process last of creating a budget for the district? Anyone?
Go ahead, Nicole.
I was just going to say it's actually a year-round process. And so there's never a bad time to start getting engaged, even though this sort of closes out, as the school year is ending, it closes out the budget for this year. It's really important to be engaged throughout the year, because that's what the school district is always doing, is trying to evaluate its programs, figure out what it needs. And that's what we also do, right? We're always trying to ground truth and monitor and figure out what is working and what isn't, and how we can make suggestions for improvement.
What are your, okay, and this is more to, I believe, our parents that are present. How do you feel about the current, I know last year, I participated in the process with the Lcap, or formerly known as Lcap group, now Long Beach Education Connection. I was part of the process, and we were engaging with parents and other community members in the district. There was some pressure that was put on the district and their engagement process. do you feel that it's last year and this year that it's accomplishing its goal? Or how do you feel about it? Just tell me, what do you think about the current engagement process that's taking place, especially since that was one of the things that the district was supposed to improve upon?
Yeah, engagement of parents continues to be a struggle. And, you know, I want to take some responsibility myself as a parent to know that I can't get to everything, right? And I know parents listening are saying we can't get to everything, right? And I want to say that the district also needs to think outside the box and think, what other ways can we engage parents, right? I mean, I go to meetings where the superintendent is there, there's 6 staff members there, and there's 6 parents, right? Out of the whole district of, 68,000 students. So, clearly, you've got to think outside of the box. How are we engaging students? Or, maybe setting up a table at sporting events, right? Parents are going to sporting events. My son plays football. There's a ton of parents there. At halftime, there's nothing to do. So maybe set up a table and a conversation at halftime at sporting events. But, I'm just a parent. I feel like the district has a huge staff that are paid really well to think outside the box on all of these situations. Parent engagement isn't the way it was 10, 20 years ago, right? We have to be super creative. Why not have an IG live and have parents check in, right? And talk to one another. I don't know. There's so many things we can do, but sitting in a room with your staff and waiting for parents to walk through the door is not working. So I am just, I would like them to have a competition for parents to share, what are some ways you can reach us? Here are the best ideas. What are the top 10 ideas? I mean, come on. There's so many things to do. Sorry, I'm a little excited. Other parents?
Kim, you said them all. Great suggestions.
Yeah, great suggestions.
If you allow me, I want to say something about it because I have lived to that, and I have noticed that parents are not answering emails or even checking emails. And yes, we receive a lot of texts, so you don't know which one to see, or you just see it roughly and not really paying attention or being able or have the time to look at the link, to click the link and get all the whole information. Plus, I think that this is when we are seeing how the pandemic really affect adults as much as children. That's the way you're not responsive. You are more like on pilot. And I think it has a lot to do. It's not gonna make it just sending emails, and especially the barrier of the technology. I know we always say that, but our Hispanic speaking parents, working parents, single parents, it's really hard for them to really pay attention to emails and read consciously everything that you receive in the mail or even a letter. Is being my struggle, and I try to be as present as I can, but it's being hard. So I guess there are other parents that are just going through the same, not only themselves, but with their students, and taking care of yourself and also taking care of your family is kind of become really hard. So I believe that it needs something else, and able to get all the information, because I'm on the DLAC vice president, and I am the CAC vice president.
Can you tell people what DLAC and CAC is? Can you tell them what that is?
DLAC is a committee that takes care of the English learner needs, and every school should send a parent representative from a school that has an ELAC that does the same as DLAC, but at a school side level. And CAC is a committee of parents collaborating with the district to bring information to parents with students with special education. And that, I think, is the population that has been hit the hardest, because I met some parents that have even 4 kids with autism, and it's really hard, getting the services on an AP or from the regional center is kind of a struggle, like a road, a really hard road that we parents have to go through in order to learn how to advocate for our kids' needs.
Wow. Thank you, Lilia. I mean, I've had an opportunity to watch you over the years, and I've watched you expand in your advocacy, and you have said so much that deserves more conversation, yet it's a conversation that connects directly to the budget. And my observation has been that many parents and community stakeholders don't realize how everything connects back to the budget, and why this conversation of LCAP is so important. So if you're watching right now, I am live with, and we're going to be closing down in just a moment. I'm live with a group that is known as the Long Beach Education Coalition, Connection, Coalition of Parents, community-based organization and advocacy organizations who advocate for effective, equitable, and racially just budget and policy changes in LBUSD. Part of that is regular meetings with the school district, regular meetings with the superintendent. So it's just not a group of parents that just come to get together to commiserate, over what they don't like. It's a group of parents that is supported by public advocates and the Children's Defense Fund that brings in the making sure that parents understand the legal ramifications and connections to education and the policies that are associated to ensuring that students' needs are met. If you want to get involved, there's ways to get involved. You can, and we have a number that's scrolling across the bottom of Evel, that's scrolling across the bottom. You can connect with Michael, who is the Education Equity Fellow at the Children's Defense Fund. You have parents like Kim, Mariella, Lilia, who you can reach out to directly. You can also reach out to me. Although I'm not part of this group, I'm still connected to the work, and as a parent that's continuing to advocate. Do you have, let's see, I'm looking to make sure, going over some notes to see if I missed anything. Again, when we opened up, we let everyone know that at this time, this presentation isn't available. We were unable to do our presentation today for our Spanish, our Khmer communities. Yet this group is inclusive, and and language access is one of the first things on this group's mind. So please know that. And if you are a Spanish speaking part of the Spanish speaking community, please connect. There's information again that's on the bottom. Does someone want to say that in Spanish? Mariela?
No pressure.
No.
Si desean conectarse con nosotros, por favor envíen un correo electrónico a Michael, que está aquí. Si ven abajo de su Lilia me puede ayudar también. Puede ver allí el correo electrónico de Michael, y por favor, si quiere, contacta conmigo o Lilia Ocampo, cualquier de nosotros, porque nosotros estamos aquí para servirles.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. There are some comments. I don't know if anyone is someone asked, there are some comments. I don't know if any of the folks that are online want to take a look at some of and maybe share them on screen with some of the things that are being posted. Again, thank you for folks that are watching. Very important conversation around the school, Long Beach Unified School budget. It's going to be approved June 22nd. Yay. Here's some information for us. I do have a question I know and I'll ask this last question, and then if anyone has any last words, then we can go ahead and close this out. At the last board meeting, there was an announcement that there was that outreach took place. How many meetings has the district held for budget? Because I have to say I missed it. I must have missed that email, that text message. How many has the district held this season?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I know of one, but
okay. Well, again, this is also
maybe two.
Okay. again, that's why this conversation is so important. Any last words before we close out?
Well, I do want to remind folks to, our purpose really is to educate parents and community members as to what's happening in our school district. It's, we are each other's keepers, and we really want folks to lean in. We need help. There's 3 parents here that are carrying a heavy load. And so if other parents are watching, please contact Michael at the number at the email on the screen. Reach out to Jerlene or myself or Lilia, Mariella, any one of us. Let us know what, if you have time to help us, come out to the board meeting. The next board meeting is June 22nd. We love to have parents there. The board sees our faces all the time, so we would love to see some new parent faces. And particularly Black parents, like our Black students are really struggling, and not just in Long Beach, again, all across the state, right? But our focus today is on the kids in Long Beach. And I know that the Latinx parents, students are also having some challenges around language access, and, just parents are not understanding what's happening. So there's still so much more that we can do. So we really need y'all to reach out and get in touch with us. Thank you.
Padres que nos están escuchando, si alguien está escuchando en español, necesitamos que se involucren, necesitamos que escuchar sus voces y que nos apoyen en ese aspecto que, como lo dijo Kim, a nosotros nos ven siempre ahí hablando, haciendo comentario, mandándoles emails. Entonces, los invito a que ustedes hagan lo mismo, que se presenten. Si tienen alguna duda, una pregunta, me pueden llamar a mí, a Mariela, y pues a involucrarnos, es necesario.
We're all busy. Like Kim said, I just want to say we're all busy, and I get it. There's definitely not enough time in a day for us to participate in every district meeting or even at the school site level. But by the time, oftentimes parents get engaged when their own child is having an issue or a challenge. And we often have to forget that it's not just about our children. People often talk about the diversity of our city and our schools. We need to be able to advocate for all of our children so that we maintain that diversity and we're giving the supports for our kids. So if your parents are watching, please, I encourage you, get involved. It's hard work but it's so rewarding because, we think about the bigger picture for the students of for just the way the support systems our kids are getting in the school. So I appreciate you, Jolene, for allowing us to be in this space, and I'll let you end it.
I'm just going to pull this up because I want to acknowledge this parent right here. So this is a parent and grandparent. I don't know if you've ever met Lee White. Lee White is an amazing person, and a parent and grandparent, and has been a long time volunteer at Cabrillo High School. And I actually met Lee over 15 years ago, volunteering at Cabrillo High School, and actually and was the parent that was really keeping the Parent Teacher Association going and engagement, and was one of the people that helped bring me in to understand what was going on the school campus. So I wanted to pull this in. And as you see right there, she's already made a commitment. She's been doing it. She has been doing it. And so again, the commitment is that easy, is posting information and sharing information. So again, I've been with the Long Beach Education Group. I appreciate all of you being here today. And let's continue this conversation. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Thank you to Public Advocates and Children's Defense Fund for continuing to hold up Long Beach parents and stakeholders. Please check out the links that are in the comments. Feel free to reach out to any of us. Oh, and one thing about it, if you show up at a board meeting and you're not sure what to do, let us know right there. We will work with you. And your issue does not necessarily have to be our issue. If there's something that you need support as a parent in preparing a statement or getting information to the board, let us know, and we can be out there with you. And it's part of, each one teach one. And that's what we do for each other. So thank you. It's been Jerlene, Talk of the Town, with some amazing education advocates. So see you at the board meetings.
Bye.
Bye.